Hey everybody, it's Matt Mayoko at NBC Sports Bay Area bringing you an update Thursday morning, the day of the 49ers and the Rams in Week 15 at Levi Stadium on Thursday night football. Okay, I'll be back at the stadium tonight. For those of you who are wondering why I've been wearing the beanie, I had a little procedure done on my ear. It's still bandaged up, but it's not as gross as it was last week at this time and heading into the weekend. So I'll just wear the beanie, cover up the bandages, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to preview this game with my five to watch. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. The one guy who we'll see if he's available for this game will be Nick Bosa. The 49ers did list him as questionable for the game, which opens the door for him to return after missing the last three games with a hip and an oblique injury. 49ers did open the door last week as well, saying that there was a chance he was listed as questionable, and then they downgraded him to out on Sunday. My thought is he will probably report to 49ers facility, which is right there at Levi Stadium early in the day, or at least earlier in the day. They'll kind of see how he's feeling, kind of weigh the advantages of him playing Thursday night against the Rams against the possibility that he could make that worse so that, do the 49ers want to take that chance of if he plays Thursday night, you run the risk of not having him for the final three games of the season, what they want to do there. So Nick Bosa's availability for this game very much up in the air. Isaac Grendo, it sounds like he's going to try to play in this game. The question then is like, how effective can he be? How much will he be able to play? And so that kind of lends itself into the idea of the five to watch. And of course, no big surprises. I've been talking about for a couple weeks now. 49ers intend to get Dre Greenlaw in uniform to be available for this game. But I guess I kind of just ruined the surprise of who the number one player to watch for this game is going to be. Okay, so the number five player to watch on my list is Renardo Green. When the 49ers played the Rams in week three, the Rams did not have Cooper Kupp. They did not have Puka Nacua. And they didn't have Renardo Green on the field at that point. At that point in the 49ers nickel situation, Isaac Yiadom, the veteran, would come in and play the outside with Deommodore Lenoir sliding inside to be nickelback. 49ers will play a lot of nickel defense against the Rams because the Rams will have three receivers out there most of the time. So that'll be basically the 49ers' primary defense on Thursday night. Renardo Green has since moved into a very prominent role, and this will be his toughest assignment yet because on most plays, he will be lined up against either Kupp or Nacua, maybe Tutu Atwell as well. So the Rams really put out a high-powered offense in their passing game, and so Renardo Green, a player that the 49ers are counting on to continue to grow, progress as he has all this season, but they expect that to continue next year, and they expect him to be a starter for the 49ers in the 2025 season. Renardo Green, second round draft pick. 49ers need him to step up. Number four player to watch is Jaylen Moore. Trent Williams will not be available for this game, so that means four consecutive starts for Jaylen Moore. And this is Moore's fourth NFL season. He's never had more than three starts in any one year. He's played very well at left tackle, protecting Brock Purdy's blind side. That has to continue on this day because the Rams do have a really good variety of pass rushers and guys that can get after the quarterback. They have a really good defensive line rotation, guys like Byron Young, Kobe Turner, Jared Verse. So those three guys have combined for 15 and a half sacks this season. Jaylen Moore putting good stuff on film, which I guess is a plus and a negative for the 49ers because the more Jaylen Moore plays, the more he looks like a starting offensive tackle in the NFL. A lot of teams around the league looking for offensive linemen, and Jaylen Moore is putting himself in a position, I believe, to show other teams that he could be a starter year five in the NFL. So big one for Jaylen Moore in prime time going up against the Rams as he makes another start at left tackle. My number three player to watch is Jair Brown. Now, I'm assuming Jair Brown will get the start at safety with Malik Mustafa out. I wouldn't say I was surprised as much as I was interested to see what the 49ers were going to do when Talanoa Hufanga came back for that Week 14 game against the Bears. Well, what they decided was that Hufanga would immediately step back in as a starter and that Malik Mustafa would remain as the starter. So it was Hufanga and Mustafa. The 49ers played very well defensively, granted, against a really bad Chicago Bears team. Well, Mustafa sustained an injury to his chest and shoulder. He's been ruled out. He will not suit up for this game. So more than likely, Jair Brown will be back in the starting lineup. I would think that he would get the start over to Sean Gibson, who started previously for the 49ers the previous 2 years, and he's back on the 53-man roster. But this is big for Jair Brown because the Rams do have an explosive offense. They do have a good run pass mixture. And so Jair Brown has to be a factor both in the run game and run support and also playing in the safety position against those aforementioned receivers that they have with Kupp, Nakua, and Atwell. So Jair Brown's been up and down this season. Matthew Stafford will try to identify weaknesses in the 49ers defense, or Sean McVay will try to identify those weaknesses in the 49ers defense and go after it. So will they go after Jair Brown, and will Jair Brown be up for the task? So that's a big key in this game. The number two player to watch is wide receiver Deebo Samuel. He admitted that he was getting frustrated, at times this season. He says that he's not struggling, that he's just not getting enough opportunities. Well, he should get plenty of opportunities in this game because with Garindo hoping to play, expecting to play with the foot sprain, the question is how effective can he be and how long can he last? Can he go the entire game? So therefore, I fully expect Deebo Samuel to get some touches in the run game. I expect Kyle Shanahan to try to scheme up some things where he's getting the ball in space. Now the Rams are also down starting cornerback Kobe Durant, who's won't be playing in this game, so they're dipping into their depth in the defensive backfield. Deebo Samuel has had some good games against the Rams in the past. They'll need him to step up and have another big game, both as a runner, which those running yards haven't been there. 2.9 yards per carry through the first of 13 games of the season. Also, the receiving yards have really fallen over the past 4 games. Past 4 games, he only has 11 catches for 85 yards total. That has to change. Deebo Samuel, in my mind, he's shown the ability to do Deebo Samuel things, which is a direct quote from Brock Purdy. He said that his goal is to, he wants Deebo to do Deebo things. And I love my guy, and I'm going to do everything I can to give him the ball. Well, he showed those things on those kickoff returns against the Packers and the Bills. Now it has to be on the offensive side. And he should get his opportunities against the Rams on Thursday night. And then that brings us to the number one guy to watch. And this guy, kind of like Deebo, whenever he's playing with that aggression and that passion and that mentality, it has this effect also on his defensive teammates. They see that it energizes them much in the same way that Dre Greenlaw's energy, aggression, passion really kind of oozes throughout that roster as far as really making an impact on both sides of the ball. Well, Dre Greenlaw will play in this game. Ben Bartch likely heading for IR to create that roster spot. That move will be announced a little bit after 1 p.m. on Thursday. But Dre Greenlaw, they need him in the middle of that defense because the 49ers need to tighten it down on third downs. They need to tighten it down in the red zone. And like I mentioned, with the Rams forcing the 49ers due to their personnel on offense to play mostly nickel in this game, I don't expect Dre Greenlaw to just be eased into the action. I fully expect him to start, and I expect him to finish, and I expect him to play pretty much the entire game. It'll be the first time that he stepped on the field with the 49ers since the Super Bowl. And as you all remember, in the Super Bowl, he played the first 12 snaps of that game. The defense was outstanding. He was flying around, making tackles. He was so excited to play in that game. And then he sustains a torn Achilles merely leaping off the sideline to go play a defensive series. So it's been a long road for him to get back. You could see in training camp, he was itching to get back out there. He told me during the offseason that he wasn't going to be back until he felt like he could be the same player he's always been. He is entering the final year of his contract, final 4 games of his contract. Well, if the 49ers can keep this thing alive and go to the postseason, there's that too. But Dre Greenlaw has to show through the final games of this year that he's back in form in order to set himself up for next year, whether that's with the 49ers in a new contract or with another team. So keep your eye on 57. In fact, I'm saying you probably won't have to keep your eye on 57 because he will pop off the TV screen, or if you're at the game at Levi Stadium, you will see him making an impact in this game. So it's really important for the 49ers because of what the Rams do with the crossing patterns, shallow crossing routes, as well as Kyron Williams, 1,000-yard rusher, fifth leading rusher in the NFL. It's a big test today for Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. So watch for number 57. He's my number one player to watch. You can read more about my 5 players to watch at NBC Sports Bay Area. Thank you so much for watching this video. And that is it for now.